Do you think colors are for babies? Are you a masochist who enjoys working harder than you have to? Or perhaps you hate your friends? Well, do we have a deck for you? Introducing Eldrazi Unbound, a non-Eldrazi themed Eldrazi Precon with a 100-card commander deck out of the box. Eldrazi Unbound offers us the chance to ramp hard and play spells big enough to make a green player blush. But before we get into the deck, just a quick reminder about colorless and generic mana. This symbol means generic, meaning you can use mana of any color to pay for it. While this symbol stands for colorless mana, which must be paid for by colorless sources. Although this won't make any difference in the Eldrazi Unbound deck, it's good to keep it in mind if you're thinking of using these cards in your decks in the future. But now, onto the deck list. For the commander, we have Zul'Adok Void Gorger. For 5 generic and 1 colorless mana, Zul'Adok is a 7/4 Eldrazi, which gives all of our colorless spells with mana value of 7 or higher Cascade. Cascade, for those of you who aren't aware, causes you to reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card that has a lower CMC. So, with Zul'Adok on the board, we would do this twice. That's right, twice. Apex Devastator, it is not, but giving every one of our spells the chance to have the impact of a Maelstrom Wanderer is never not going to be fun. Let's say we play an It That Betrays, and we reveal off the top of our deck an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Just imagine. Now, for our backup commander, Omathis Ghostfire Initiate. Bear with me, because this boy is a mouthful. For XX, Omathis is a 0/0 that enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters. Whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on another colorless creature, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Omathis as well. And when he dies, we get to manifest cards from the top of our library equal to the number of counters on him. Dear Lord, that's a lot of text. Look, I'm not really wired by this commander. It has some interesting decks, but overall, I think the support isn't enough. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. And I will say that this bad boy would work really well in decks that can accrue a lot of +1/+1 counters. I'm looking at you, my queen. Alright, now on for the new permanent cards in the 99. First up, we have Obtruse Archaic. For 1 generic mana and tapping it, we get to copy target activated or triggered ability from one of our colorless sources. Now that's awesome. Next, we have Flayer of Loyalties, a new Eldrazi with that all-scary ability, Annihilator 2. And we get to steal a creature from one of our enemies. Pure value. Next, we have Skittering Cicada, which allows us to play colorless spells at instant speed, which is always great. And then we have Darksteel Monolith, a big indestructible artifact, which allows us to pay 0 rather than the mana cost of a colorless spell we cast from our hand once each turn. And finally, we have Ugin's Mastery, which manifests the top card of our library whenever we cast a colorless spell and then turns them up if we attack with a creature with power 6 or greater. These are all great, exciting new additions for any colorless deck out there. But now, we get onto the real fun. First up, we have Calamity of Titans, a new colorless board wipe that exiles creatures that are smaller than the mana value of a creature we reveal from our hand. It's a colorless farewell with flexibility to not hit our big beaters. I love it. Next, we have Desecrate Reality, a massive 7 mana instant that exiles a permanent from each opponent and then returns a permanent with odd mana value from our graveyard to the battlefield. And finally, we have Rise of the Eldrazi, an uncounterable sorcery that destroys a permanent, draws a player 4 cards, and gives us an extra turn. It does exile itself afterwards, but no one said we can't copy it. Oh man, I can't wait to play this deck. I have been in love with the Eldrazi ever since I got back into Magic, and I've slowly over the years accumulated more and more of the Eldrazi Titans. This seems like the perfect time for me to put them all into a deck and build that spicy little brew. But now, it's time to hear from you. What cards have got you the most excited? Are you going to be picking up this precon? Let us know in the comments down below. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And until next time, don't forget to pay rent.